My number 2 is definitely Dr. Dre.
Yeah, he was forcing it a couple times.
Absolutely.
So number 1's now. Or before we do number 1, so should we just do like the Who Let You In category?
Yeah, we could do that.
No, I don't think we should end it with that.
Yeah. So let's do that. So 2015, Who Let You In? Worst rapper of 2015.
I'll start this off, man. Any Future related project, man. Listen,
say it with your chest.
I was gonna say I'm not gonna put Slim Jesus in there because Slim Jesus is a parody act to me. You know, I'm not. He's not a rapper. He's not MC. He's just somewhere out there. But to me, Future. Okay, if I'm getting my drink on, if I'm at a bar or lounge, okay, whatever. But if I'm just trying to listen to music, he's one of, to me, who should have been a flash in the pan act. He should have been done probably 2 or 3 years ago, in my opinion. Like, especially like the, I think it was Move the Dope song with him, Pusha T, and Pharrell. Pharrell had the hardest verse on there. And he ain't even about that life, you know. But to me, it's like, okay, and it's not even about the auto-tune to me at this point because you had T-Pain who, you know, rated for everything it's worth. But while auto-tune, T-Pain can still actually be an artist and sing. He actually can sing, but he already knew that I can make more money manipulating my voice versus using that as my real voice. And he made his own lane and made his own niche. So I can respect T-Pain in that respect. To me, Future's like that. He can't sing. He can't rap. He's using an auto-tune. He got good beats. And even on the interviews, he's like, oh, I'm not really a lean drinker, but this is what people doing, so I'm going to rap about it. So it goes back to what you say with some Jesus earlier. It's like, if you're really not about that life, and he already put it out there, like, I'm not really a lean drinker like that. I'm not like Wayne and be drinking lean, but this is what people be listening to. This is what people talking about, so I'm going to talk about it for them. You know, I'll be their microphone. So it's like, to me, it's like, you're not even authentic. You know, you're not even, there's no authenticity with it. It's like, okay, I'm just going to do it just because this was going to make me ends here. I respect his hustle, but to me, there's no creativity with none of his music. I mean, him and Drake had that little mixtape that came out, and it's like, you know, I was like, okay.
The young kid,
yeah. You know, and it's like, nah.
I'm not really mad at Future, though.
I'm not mad at the hustle, but...
Because, like, he is, like, originator of that sound. Like, okay, you could say T-Pain, he kind of took a little bit. But, like, he kind of in his own lane. I mean, it's other people.
He's his own lane by default to me, though.
Because nobody else can.
It's almost by default. Like, you know what I mean? And now you got people who trying to sound like Future.
Yeah.
Which isn't even making it worse.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Armand, what you got for the worst rapper of 2015?
The worst?
Yeah.
I gotta pick one.
He like 95% of the current game.
You did a whole show off this jump. God. 2015 was rapper. I'm gonna give Migos. Go Migos.
Migos.
Is that a group?
No, they're a group.
Yeah, they're a group.
Yeah, both of them.
It was like 3 of them. It's a group. But you know, and I'm not gonna cut you off. I'm not. It's always how I bring it. I'm not really mad at the Migos though. Like,
how you spell their name?
It's Migos.
Okay.
I respect their flow. Like, granted, there's 3 6 Mafia influences with them, and that's probably why I can tolerate them to a certain degree. I mean, they're not rapping about anything of substance, but I can at least say, okay, at least they're trying to manipulate flows. But I can see why you're saying they're worst rappers, but at the same time, I can actually say, okay, I can listen to a couple of Migos tracks and say, okay, this is not a bad song, you know.
You want to say that again, Sam?
Hey, I'm just saying. I didn't say they're the best thing.
What do you respect again?
I'm just saying, like, you know, I can turn up to them.
Oh, man.
I'll listen to them before Future.
Yo, and that was a random guess. That was just like, without hearing my students talking about. Alright, cool. Migos.
And they said
my
Versace.
students to it is trash.
Oh, yeah. They said Versace probably at least 350 times. Had to. Oh, you got Ray, man. Your worst. Who let you win, man? Worst rapper of 2015.
Renzo, we got the exact same answer. I'm Future. I got Future on there. I know that he's on everything, you know. I maybe liked him when he collaborated with, like, he had a song with
Rihanna a couple years ago. You know,
Yeah.
He had a song actually on the A$AP Rocky album that was dope. But
yeah.
the little bit that I've heard, it doesn't make me want to hear more. That's how a lot of it tends to, go, right? You hear a little bit of something, if you like it, you want to hear more. I get the opposite feeling. I'm just like, what is wrong with you? That's how I know, like, there's a generation difference, because he's, like, everybody likes it. Like, everybody, and I don't make the connection. He doesn't, like, and I don't mind certain, like, music in that realm. Like, I'll listen to, like, Juicy J. Like, if I'm going out or something like that, I'll listen to music like that. I'll even listen to Fetty Wap. I'll even admit that out loud. And Future, I can't do it. Like, I hear him. I don't like the strain in his voice. And I don't even consider him a rapper yet. When you Google him or whatever, he's considered a rapper. So if you're considered a rapper and you're occupying one of the top spots, and you don't do it for me, like, that's you're gonna get thrown in the category of worse. So I feel very much like, who let you in? I do not care about anything this guy does. Sounds like you stole my
I'm on the same page with them, man. Like, I don't see what the big, I don't really see what the big rah over so many of these artists. I just don't. I'm like, what? They all sound the same, and they're not impressive at all. The way they dress, everything, the way they talk, what they post. I mean, it's just like there's no substance in anything in their whole existence.
Hey, I like this song by Future and The Game, man. But this is how I knew I like this album, because I don't really like Future, and this album, this song made me listen to it. But
you know what, too, Brandon, and I don't know if you share the same opinion. I have a hard time getting into a lot of the, like, if somebody says, like, trap music, like, the production style has a certain kind of, uniformity, right? Like, it just sounds like when somebody says a trap beat, you're going to hear a certain type of kick, snare, the hi-hats that are repetitive. I have a difficult time. Like, I'm very into beats, whether it's wherever you're from in the world.
Right.
The trap sound, by far, has been one of the most difficult sounds for me to get behind. And I think Future is, like, all trap.
Yeah.
And so that makes it even worse. So his voice on top of trap beat, it's just like you were made to just, upset me. So I can't do it.
Yeah. So to me, man, like in the late '90s, man, I was on Project Pat and 3 6 Mafia and them, and I mean everything right now on Top 40 radio is basically a is a 3 6 Mafia cutout. As far as the trap beats, the whole time signatures, the drum and bass, it's all old Project Pat stuff. It's all old 3 6 stuff. All this stuff, all this trap stuff. So, I just wish that, like, certain artists would just, and not that, like, your music has to be regional, but, like, I just don't like the beat biter type of thing, where it's like, if I'm from Philly, then I want my sound to at least resemble my city a little bit. You know what I mean? Whereas, like, everything is trap now. If you get on, then no matter where you're from, your music has to be trap.
Yeah, seriously, I agree with you 100%. It's annoying.
Yeah. But for me, man, I'm surprised at y'all, man. Who let you in the game? 2015 worst rapper, Mr. Young Thugger.
Oh wow, I forgot about that.
Get out of here.
Well, probably because we don't consider it. We
send you on a one-way trip to Cuba.
He's on his own. He's
staying over there.
He's on his own level. That's why like
stay there.
I don't even categorize him.
First of all, why are you coming out with an album called The Card or Anything? You know what I mean? And second of all, what are you talking about? I don't care if he's gay. Your sexual preferences, I don't care, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But, like, why do you have to look like that?
Yeah.
I know we get personal right now, but
listen, we're not gonna put his name out there. He saw the light, but associate of ours, good friend of mine, was trying to defend Young Thug at the time, and it was funny because we had this conversation, and he's a knowledgeable brother, so this is not somebody who's like caught up. He doesn't knowledge. His father's a 5%er, so I mean, he knows about the 120 and everything else, but it's like we're having this conversation, and it's almost like he tried to almost put Young Thug in the same lane, and Nas is like, well, when you listen to Young Thug, listen to Nas, is like, these lyrics go over your head. You got to rewind, and he put up this line talking about how the money's like blue cheese because of the new dollar bill, how it has like low reflection of balloons. Like, did you realize what he was saying? And I'm looking at him like, brother, what the hell? You know, at this point, it's like you put him in the same category as Nas as far as lyrics on your head and put him on a rewind status. No. You know? It's like,
I can't have Young Thug. One way trip to Cuba, dog.
hey man,
Stay there.
Oh man, but Asad Shakur's there, man. Antarctica, man.
Yo, out of here. All right, man. So we're gonna roll into the last category tonight, which is our top artists, and we're gonna do 3. 3 being the least.
Oh, and we
one
did
being
top album.
the greatest. Yeah, we just did albums, brother.
No, number 1 album. We did number 2.
We never did.
I forgot all about top artists.
My bad. Yeah, my bad. I'm glad you caught that. Yeah. So number 1 album. You want to go?
I'll go first. And I think it might be universal for for all of us, but definitely Kendrick. To Pimp a Butterfly, man. I mean, I remember first hearing it. And I mean, it caught me on at the very beginning because I mean, it had the funk, it had the jazz, the spoken word. I mean, he crammed so many styles together, but it was so fluid, And for me, it was like, and I think you might have said something about it, Brandon. It was almost like if D'Angelo had a rap album, this was how it would almost sound like, in a sense, where he was at. It was very pro-black. It was very about what was happening currently. And it kind of made me think about Nas's Untitled album, which was originally the Nigger album, in the sense where here's Nas is hitting similar topics, but he dropped this back in 2008. Nobody was really trying to hear that. This was when Lil Wayne was on top. And not only that, it could have been better beat selections. I mean, I still personally like that. I know you didn't like it because of the production. But to me, it was like, okay, he took from that. I'm not saying he took from, but as far as like the same energy, but was able to make it more cohesive in a sense. And, and he was talking about relevant things that was going on. I mean, between Sean Bell, between Trayvon, the Black Lives Matters movement. I mean, especially when you look at his performance in the Grammys. And then when you saw like the little scenes where they're showing like some of the whiter areas of the audience looking like, what the hell is this? Right. You know what I mean? Here's a guy who's going against the establishment and has a backing of a major going against the establishment, and is able to sell conscious music at this point. And it almost goes back to Odyssey, not in the respect that none of his projects really sound the same. I mean, you listen to Section 80, you listen to Good Kid, Mad City, you listen to this now. You see the growth, and you see that I'm not trying to duplicate this album or this sound, and then you have people, even Complex Magazine was talking about, oh, wow, we don't understand why people liking this album, or when you have a situation where I think he was doing like some of like the tours where like the Power 99 ones and everything else, where people actually leave by the time he got on stage after Future, because it wasn't that turn up, it wasn't that ignorant music. Here's a kid, who's probably mindset of ours, or maybe beyond our minds as far as maturity, spitting on stuff that maybe nobody in his age group is really spitting on outside a few other artists, whether it's J. Cole, Odyssey, or whatever at this point, and it's just, it's just poetic to me, from beginning to just simply poetic, and I love how he incorporated the Tupac interview at the end. And even granted, we already know Tupac was gone in '96, but how he was able to get that Tupac interview and interact with it, and it sounded so natural, as far as like he's an extension of Tupac in the sense of the poetic, I'm about my people type thing, pre-death row, I'm going, spit in your face. Like he had a lot of Tupac's essence is within Kendrick.
All right, I'll be very quick with mine because I have the same pick. Kendrick had a lot to lose with this second album, coming off that Good Kid, Mad City album. He could easily went a different way. He really dug into the trenches and started talking about what's going on around him. And the Games album is a better album for me as far as like just lyricism and just kind of getting raw at me. But Kendrick's album to me is number 1 just because of the poetic value and what he's actually saying. If you think about what's going on right now and all these social justice issues and culture things that are happening in our world today, right or wrong, you know, whatever.